Welcome to another episode of the Friday Podcast with your host, Mr. Chris Chaos in the building. I had to show up this shirt because I can only wear it in October, and October's almost over. Pretty clean, huh? I mean, I know that it's not really doing anything to help, but it's a tight shirt. It's a 1977 vintage style. I like the trippy stuff. Pardon me. And I got real close to the mic when I burped. This is episode 104. It's been an interesting week, as it always is. It's been chaotic. I had to take a couple of days off from the chaos, from the external chaos, and deal with some internal chaos. It helped cleaning up. Cleaned up my room a bit. It still looks kind of messy, but it's way better than it was. And then you would think only working 3 days out of a week would make the week go by fast, but it just feels the same. For some reason, a 5-day week and a 3 or 4 day week, they just feel the same. Yesterday, I got the privilege of substituting a pre-K class by myself. Now, I know the kids because that's the class that I was a TA for in the beginning of the year. And it went well. There was a couple students I had to send to a couple other classes just because I couldn't. And the teacher does that sometimes, so I didn't feel too bad about that. But it's funny because there's just one kid that he just likes chaos. And I can't knock him for it, but in the class setting, it just doesn't work. When most of the kids are getting along and stuff, and this dude is just, I call him a dude, but when this kid is just like going around knocking down towers the kids are making, or snatching stuff from them and running around, it's like, whoa. And it's just the boy being a boy, but most of the kids are like pretty chill, get along with each other, they're sharing and stuff. And there's this other one who he'll do something like bad, like he'll push this one little kid like far, like he's strong for a little pre-K. And then I'm like, I say his name and he's like, and he just smile at you like, it's super cute, but I had to, yeah. The rest were pretty helpful, pretty chill. When I first became a TA, it was for bilingual pre-K. I never thought I would be substituting or being like a computer specialist teacher. I don't know if it's probably helping me deal with my own trauma. I hope it's helping me in some way for this. I feel like being on stage, it'll help for being on stage because I work with inner city kids, so they keep me cool in a way, because they're savage in a way that they will rip you apart. If something's wrong, if your hair is different, if something looks funny on you, and I guess just because they feel comfortable enough with me, but bro, they will tell you what's up. Like this one little girl last year in pre-K will always say my teeth were yellow. And bro, if a 4-year-old tells you your teeth are yellow, your teeth are fucking yellow. And so that's in my head for a year. So I'm just like, fuck it. I haven't brushed my teeth this morning either, but I have roommates and I haven't had a chance to use the restroom. And I was gonna record yesterday, but it was raining and I was tired from the subbing, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to sleep. Last night, even though I took my anxiety medication, I had a vivid dream. So for some reason, I went on lunch break and I walked. And it was like a long walk, but then when I was walking back to work, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna make it. And I saw this car that was running, and I hopped in and took off and drove home to get to my car, even though I was gonna be going to work. And I parked my car like across the street in the park. And I had their car right here in my driveway. And they showed up. These two people showed up, a dad and a kid, I guess. But the kid was like probably like my age. And the dad got off, and I was like, yo, let me explain. I just needed a ride real quick, here. And I didn't get my ass beat. We didn't fight or anything. He was pretty cool about it. He was like, oh, okay. and they just took the car. It was really weird. There's another situation, and I don't know where it was or what happened, but somebody could have, like, in real life, I would have got my ass beat, or there would have been a fight. So I don't really know what that means. Maybe that means that go with your gut. Even when you come across chaos, God will have your back. You'll be okay. Usually that's what happens. My cousin, Jose Perales, shout out to my cousin, one of my best friends. He posted something that said, I think Boozy Badass posted it. It was like, I know God got it, but I'm gonna panic first. And that's just kind of like what it is. Because like, even though I know God has it, it's just human instinct to worry, which is crazy. So the fact that my goal when I'm not at work is to not worry. Maybe that's the key to staying young, is to not worry. But yeah, it'd be exhausting to be worried all the time, even when I'm off of work. And even when I'm at, you know, you get just living in the moment, man. That's a practice, and it's hard to do, but all right, random questions. If you were a wrestler, what would y'all gotta show off this fucking thing right here. I don't know how long it's gonna last. It might break soon, but this clipboard is fucking amazing. Look, you can put pen, pencil. So I'm getting my nice Sharpie gel pen out. Clipboard. And then you can put stuff inside of it. Fucking fire. Amazon. The monster. Oh wait, let's look. Alright, if you were a wrestler, what would your stage name be and special move be? Ooh. It would be Chris Chaos, obviously. And it would be the Berserker move. Like when the Vikings would eat mushrooms and they would just go crazy. Because when I've had mental breakdowns, I've gone crazy and broken stuff and just screaming. I go Super Saiyan. Use one word to describe your confidence level. Bipolar. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. But I try to make it seem like it's up all the time. I don't know. I'm not a good actor, so oftentimes you can see my emotion on my face. What's the best Valentine's Day gift you've ever given or received? The best Valentine's gift I ever got was not me being born on Valentine's, because I was due on Valentine's, but I came early on February 9th. I already hate Valentine's because I've never really been successful. I never really had a girlfriend on Valentine's that much in school. And that's probably because I never really asked anybody. But I don't know. I just never really liked Valentine's. It's close to my birthday. So thankfully I wasn't born on it. Because, you know, birthdays, I already get depressed on my birthday for whatever fucking reason. It's like I want to be alone, but I don't want to be alone. So if that would have been on Valentine's, oh my goodness. Have you ever had a stuffed toy important to you? If so, what kind and what was its name? A stuffed toy that was important to me? Obviously I got all these that my son's collection. Let me see if I can show you. So those are important to me because we used to play with them together. And then he won this one, the claw machine, one time. And I don't even know if he remembers winning it, but that was pretty important. For my own personal childhood, no, I can't think of nothing. I mean, I had this Bart Simpson up here, but that's not really, I mean, half of his body is stuff, but his head's fucking hard as hell. Oh, I remember. I had an Ernie from Bert and Ernie from fucking Sesame Street. You know the gay dude? It's all good. It's cool. And he had like button and a zipper, and he had like all these different things you could play with. I loved it. But my aunt fucked it up from Mexico because she has like a mole. I think she still has it. But she put one on Ernie. And I was probably upset. But she put a mole on Ernie. I wonder where that fucking Ernie is anyway. Who was your very first celebrity crush on? Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Sarah Michelle Gellar. Yeah, I had a huge crush on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I didn't even like watch the show or anything. The show kind of sucked, but I had a poster of her that I bought from the what's it called? Book Fair, which is a weird poster to have of somebody. But I guess Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a teenage thing. Do you think any kind of afterlife exists? Yes. What is your favorite chick flick or rom-com movie? Damn, chick flick or rom-com movie. You know what I really like? 13 Going on 30. Is that the one? Where Chandler from Friends becomes a kid again? That was pretty tight. What is one thing you won't admit to yourself? Ooh. I mean, I admit almost everything. I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. I don't have that much confidence sometimes. Staying in the moment is hard. Discipline, I'm working on discipline. I'm pretty honest with myself. One thing that I won't admit to myself is that I'm a great person. It's very hard to say. Like I'm my biggest critic, 100%. And I think that most creative people are their biggest critic, unfortunately. And I think that comes from trauma and shit, maybe. But what question do you want to ask the universe? I feel like any question I already know the answer. I'll be like, what's my purpose? And they'll be like, to exist. What's next? It's not time for you to know yet. You don't need to know that. It's unnecessary knowledge at this moment. That's probably what they'll say. Or they'll say, I am curious. What's the truth? What is next? Because I believe in different things. I do believe there is an afterlife. But I don't know what it is or what it consists of. And maybe knowing would be a bad thing because I'd be like, oh, I'm ready to go. But, so maybe the universe wouldn't answer me that. What's the key to happiness? I think I already know that too, thinking positive thoughts, but training yourself to do that is the hard. Any endurance, it's not going to be easy. And I heard this quote from DMX, where he was on an interview, RIP to the dog, to the New York Tupac, in my opinion, even though Tupac was kind of from New York. So he said something about like, well, there's two. One was about being a drug addict, and this lady interviewing, she's like, do you have a problem with drugs still? And he's like, I always have a problem with drugs my whole life because those triggers are always going to be triggers, and then sometimes they're going to be worse, and it's always something that you have to battle with. And then another thing he said was that it was about endurance, like with your soul, with life, like being able to survive through challenges, and the challenges get harder, but you pass them and you just get stronger. But the challenges keep coming and they keep getting harder. And it's like life is a video game, and you know, that made him wiser. And it sucks that he passed so young. Have you ever, wow, how did I get to that? Have you ever been somewhere you thought was haunted? If so, where? Nah. There was a point in time where I wanted to go to an abandoned insane asylum. And I don't know what I was thinking or why I wanted to go, but there was something in me that was like, yo, I want to go to an abandoned insane asylum. Never did. And I don't really like scary shit. I ended up realizing, I mean, ever since I was a kid, scary movies just fucked me up. They gave me nightmares and shit. And then as I got older, I just didn't enjoy it. I remember enjoying The Ring. There was a couple movies as a kid that I liked, that they were scary, but they weren't like gory. I don't like that crazy blood, gore, saw shit. I didn't like that. It's just cringe. It goes against human nature, and it goes against my nature. And so I'm not into that shit. And if you are, that's cool. It's just, I can't get into it. I need to watch. My emotion is so susceptible to my environment sometimes, is that I have to watch funny shit to stay happy and funny. What has made you feel completely validated? When a student trusts me so much that they can share something that I have to report. I feel validated because I'm like, well, I built up a rapport with these students to the point where they can tell me the truth that they won't even tell their teachers. Because, you know, unfortunately, there's a lot of pressure put on teachers for scores and the data. And that doesn't allow you to really gain a rapport with your students as much because you're more focused on them learning, always learning, instead of like an emotional break or, That's just the system. That's the way it's designed, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Why did I say that? Oh, validation. Also, my 136 subscribers. I remember when I was just 20. I don't remember that actually. When I was just when I hit 100, that was, and I got 136. That's a whole nother class of people. 36. I love it. And it's true validation. Getting compliments on my rapping is validation. Just compliments are so amazing, but you gotta be careful because you don't need them. We gotta compliment ourselves, which is the hardest fucking thing to do for some reason. Have you ever done something and had no idea why you did it? What was it? Nah, usually I know why I do stupid shit. I'm pretty sure I usually know. It's either I'm tired, I'm hungry, I'm stressed, I'm angry, I'm drunk, you know, something like that. Do you stick to conventional fashion or do you like to be original? A mix. I kind of found my style when I was like 20 something. You know, just my style hasn't really changed since then. So I can't tell if that's a butterfly or a leaf. Either way, it's beautiful. Yeah, my style kind of stayed the same. For work, I get all the color slacks I can get, slim style, not skinny, straight fit, slim straight fit, and the jeans I usually get just regular cut, not boot cut, just, you know, slim straight or whatever, not skinny, and not too baggy anymore. I used to fucking rock baggy pants, and I loved it. I mean, who doesn't? But then at a certain point, when you get older, it's like, oh, there's a lot of extra fabric that's unnecessary. So just being like kind of clean cut, you know, it's my stilo. What appetizer do you have to eat when you dine out? I don't have to eat any appetizer. But if I go to Coquitas and they bring out those tortillas with butter, Out of all the feelings you can feel, what is the best feeling in the world? Love. Because love equals happiness. And happiness equals love. We'll be right back, my friend, with more of 104 of the Friday Pod. So I'm trying to get like a 360 view so I can see how fucked up my hair is because I've been cutting it myself. All right, we are back. This week, the angel number is 353. From sunsigns.org, angel number 353 is a cue from the divine forces that everyone will recognize you for the good things you are doing in the worldly realm. 353. Sorry, excuse me. I want you to understand that even if you may not understand the path in your life now, trust God to guide you and show you the way. Understand that fear is not good, and you must always have the courage and strength to motivate yourself. The angels are telling you that they are beside you, and you should never feel alone. Whoa. That resonates with what I'm going through at the moment. Excuse me. TrustedPsychicMediums.com says that angel number 353 represents growth, self-discovery, creativity, faith, adaptability, and tolerance. NumerologyNation.com says, as a whole, the number 353 symbolizes significant changes that are coming your way. And changes are scary, but change is nature's most lovely delight. Nature loves change. Change is constant. With the angel number 353, the angels are confirming that you are making the right decisions and choices in life, and that you are right where you are supposed to be. Trust that you are being guided and supported by the universe and your guardian angels on the path of fulfilling your life's mission and purpose. The Secret of the Tarot.com says that 353 is made up of 5 numbers that convey powerful vibrations into your life. When combined, the numbers 3, 5, 33, 35, and 53 symbolize strong and positive angelic vibes. You should be proud that your angels are sending you this sign. Angel number 353 asks you to let go of anything that burdens your life. Mindfulnessinjustice.org says that's burden and letting go of anything that burdens you. Like it just depends. Like, be careful on that advice. 353 for mindfulness and justice. 353 angel number is a symbol of significant change. 353 is also a symbol of love and represents forgiving and forgetting. It's a sign that you are encouraged to use your passions and talents to move forward. Angel number 353 also enables you to rise above your challenging circumstances. TrustedPsychicMediums.com says that 353 on its own tells you to adopt a positive attitude in life for things to work out for you. Furthermore, this angel number encourages you to trust your intuition and ideas. Having faith in yourself will help you overcome difficult challenges in life, according to this angel number. Now, last Friday, in the morning, I saw what I believe to be a wolf spider. And I'll put a picture. It's disgusting. And I'm getting chills just thinking about it. But when I'm in the moment and I see it, I'm like, okay, I got to kill this guy. Apparently they can be poisonous or venomous, or it wouldn't kill me, but it would hurt. But I killed it. And that day, I had a challenging day. So maybe that was a sign that, yo. And what's interesting is this past Friday in the restroom, yesterday, I didn't see a big wolf spider, but I saw a little jumping spider. So I'm like, okay, maybe it'll just be a little bit of a challenging day compared to last Friday. But maybe it's just how I reacted to it. So, Spirit-Animals.com says that the wolf spider symbolism insists that you pursue your objectives now. Now is the right moment. So it is best to take action using all of your creative abilities. The goal may look unattainable. However, this arachnid assures you that with your quick response, you will be successful. Alternatively, the wolf spider meaning is advising you to lay low until the timing is right. Furthermore, you have to be patient until you have a clear view of how to attack your goal. And then on that same page, I saw a brown spider, because maybe it wasn't a wolf spider, maybe it was just a brown spider. If a brown spider has made its presence known, it symbolizes the need to remove the toxic energies that are trying to manipulate your thinking and your actions. In other words, like the aardwolf, find solitude and clear your head and return to yourself. Leave other people's perceptions of who you are behind. Wolf spider spirit animal. Folks with the wolf spider totem are opportunists and pursue their objectives relentlessly. In other words, they take full advantage of everything that presents itself. These people are generally shy and introverted loners who, for the most part, are careful about how they present themselves to the world. They are discreet about all of their actions in the way that you never see them coming. When you have the brown spider totem, you tend to spend a lot of time working on your relationships with others. In other words, this power animal's primary focus in life is to heal past emotional baggage by re-experiencing and cycling through various dramas that need healing. They are experts at going inward to release the past. These folks can be loving and nurturing, and at the same time, find every trigger button with their friends. Oh shit, that sounds like me. Occasionally, the spider meaning prompts you to evaluate the hidden wounds that hold you close to yourself. It is now time to find ways to heal them. ATSHQ.org says that wolf spiders, brown recluse, and brown spiders also symbolize honor. This means going back to the people who helped you to blossom emotionally, physically, and financially. Very interesting. All right, we'll come right back, and we're going to do a couple more things, my friends. Specifically, anxiety news. I don't know why, because I was going to drop one. Anxiety news. Movie review. Just kidding. And Badass Woman in Her Stream. In for a treat, my friends. You're in for a treat. All right. Be right back. Maybe I should bust a freestyle. It's been a while. Not really, I'm a child. But not really, I'm wild. I come in the Anxiety news. All right, this comes from The Independent. How to use the rule, the 333 rule for anxiety, from Laura Hampson. All right, so this is, she dropped this on October 24th. At any one time, supposedly there are around 8 million people in the UK experiencing some form of anxiety disorder, quote unquote. This may or may not be true, because I've also read things that say that a lot of these titles that have been given to us are almost, now I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with this, but a lot of it is pseudoscience, meaning that so like if you're depressed and you're depressed longer than 2 weeks, they just automatically say, oh, you have depressive disorder, and they medicate you. Same thing with anxiety. And so once you get on those drugs, you become addicted. And then you can't, they gotta wean you off of them. So there's not really much, it's just it was voted upon by a lot of scientists. Possibly influenced by the pharmaceutical industry. But anyway, this can range from a panic disorder to social anxiety to post-traumatic stress and phobias such as claustrophobia or agoraphobia. According to the NHS, while most people experience feelings of anxiety at one point or another, some find it harder to control their worries, and feelings of anxiety have a more constant effect on their daily lives. A 2014 study from YouGov found that 1 in 5 people who experience anxiety have, quote unquote, no coping mechanisms to help them through it. While the health service suggests treatments such as therapy or antidepressant medicines, there are other things you can do to help manage those feelings. One of these methods is known as the 333 rule. According to Healthline, the 333 rule is an informal technique for coping with anxiety. It can help keep you grounded and calm down in a moment where you are feeling particularly anxious or overwhelmed. Now I'm going to try this shit. Hopefully it works. We'll see what's up. I mean, hopefully I don't have to use it, but if I have to use it, I'm going to try it. The 333 rule consists of 3 factors. When you're feeling anxious, you'll need to look around your current environment and name 3 things you see. Identify 3 sounds you hear. Move 3 things, such as your arms or legs, or touch 3 things, such as an object. A recent TikTok video posted by Mental Health Membership Club Mind Bar said practicing this method is an easy tool to bring you back to the present moment. At Mind Bar. Mind Bar's mental health tip of the week, 3-3-3 rule. A great way to bring stress and anxiety levels down is to pause and, like I said before, name 3 things you see, 3 sounds you hear, and move 3 parts of your body. Because our minds often get stuck in a pattern of overthinking. Practicing this method is an easy tool to bring you back to the present moment. And a lot of times that's the key, staying in the moment and not getting overwhelmed with what could happen. That's often what it is, trying to predict the future and always predicting that Murphy law, that whatever bad can happen will happen. But that's the sad way of looking at life. While there have been no scientific studies, obviously, into the effectiveness of the 3-3-3 rule, it can be a helpful aid to manage anxiety. Other ways to help reduce feeling of anxiety, according to the NHS, include going on a self-help course. I guess that's like an online thing. I don't know about that. Exercising regularly. I mean, this has been proven by the philosophers, the Stoics, science. And that's one of the fucking hardest things to do. Stopping smoking and cutting down on the amount of alcohol you consume. Yeah, when I stopped drinking alcohol, it definitely, because it's a depressant. And when I was younger, I would smoke cigarettes and shit, but I was like party mode, so that didn't really. Anyway, that was anxiety news, my friends. Hopefully your anxiety is cool, calm, collective, the 3 C's. I'll be right back with the movie review of the week. Possibly of the month, because I haven't done a movie review in a minute. All right, we'll be right back. Yo. All right. Today we're talking about a throwback. V for Vendetta is a 2005 dystopian political action film directed by James McTeague in his director debut. From a screenplay written by the Wachowskis. Now, the Wachowskis are a very interesting duo of brothers. The Wachowskis, let me try to fix this, are also the ones that wrote the screenplay for The Matrix. They also wrote the screenplay for, what we call them? Speed Racer, which is a really good movie, which I should probably do next. Let's see. It's based on a 1988 DC Vertigo comic limited series of the same title by Alan Moore, David Lloyd, and Tony Ware. The film is set in a future where a fascist totalitarian regime, i.e. like 1984, has subjugated the UK. It centers on V, portrayed by Hugo Weaving, an anarchist masked freedom fighter who attempts to ignite a revolution through elaborate terrorist acts, and Evie Hammond, portrayed by Natalie Portman, a young woman caught up in V's mission. Stephen Ray portrays a detective leading a desperate quest to stop V. Produced by Silver Pictures, Virtual Studios, and Anarchos Productions, V for Vendetta was originally scheduled for release by Warner Brothers Pictures on November 5th, a day before the 400th Guy Fawkes night, but was delayed. It instead opened in the United States on, they probably were afraid that people might actually do some kind of crazy shit on that day. Instead opened in the US on the 17th of March, 2006 to mostly positive reviews from critics and was a box office success. However, Alan Moore, having been dissatisfied with the film adaptations of his other works, From Hell and The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, declined to watch the film and asked not to be credited or paid for royalties. But I would have still got paid for this shit, even if I didn't like it. if I made it. V for Vendetta has been seen by many political groups as an allegory of oppression by government. Anarchists have used it to promote their beliefs. David Lloyd stated the Guy Fawkes mask has now become a common brand and a convenient placard to use in protest against tyranny. And I'm happy with people using it. It seems quite unique, an icon of popular culture being used this way. Well, yeah, because Anonymous took it over. In the near future, Britain is ruled by the Norse Fire political party, a fascist and authoritarian regime led by High Chancellor Adam Sutler, which controls the populace through propaganda and imprisons or executes those deemed undesirables, including immigrants, homosexuals, and people of alternative religions. I don't remember them saying any of that in the movie, but Evie Hammond is the daughter of activists who died in prison, and her brother was killed in the St. Mary's School terrorist attack 14 years earlier. So Vino, who I watched this with, thinks that that Guy Fawkes is her brother. I mean, not Guy Fawkes, but V. But according to this, her brother died. One evening, a Guy Fawkes masked vigilante V rescues her from assault by the secret police and has her witness as his bombs destroy the Old Bailey. On November 5th, V hijacks the state-run television network to address the nation, claiming credit for the attack and encouraging the populace to resist Norse Fire by joining him outside the Houses of Parliament on Guy Fawkes Night in 1 year's time. Evie is knocked unconscious, aiding V's escape, and he takes her with him to avoid her arrest and likely execution. V kills Norse Fire propagandist Louis Prothero, Dr. Celia Surridge, and with Evie's assistance, Anthony Lillyman, the Bishop of London. Evie flees after betraying V, hoping to be forgiven by Norse Fire. Assigned to capture V, Chief Inspector Eric Finch uses Surridge's journal and information from former covert operative William Rockwood, which was actually V in disguise, to learn that 2 decades earlier, Surridge had led biological weapon research and human experimentation at the Larkhill Detention Facility on behalf of Norse Fire, creating the St. Mary's virus. Although dozens of political prisoners died during the experimentation, and amnesiac and cell V developed mutated immunities and disfigurements as well as physical enhancements and eventually destroyed Larkhill during his escape. It was kind of like Deadpool. Peter Creedy, head of the secret police, faked a terrorist attack by releasing the virus at targets, including St. Mary's, and used the resulting public fear to embed Norse Fire in power, while the company manufacturing the cure enriched party members such as Prothero and Lillyman. Evie takes shelter with her former boss, talk show host Gordon Dietrich, who shares with her his collection of illegal materials such as subversive paintings, an antique Quran, and homoerotic photographs. Emboldened by Evie and V, he satirizes Sutler on his show, leading to his execution and Evie's arrest. She takes solace in a note hidden in her cell written by Valerie Page, a woman in prison in the cell next to V. Detailing her hopes despite her impending death, tortured and facing her own execution, Evie refuses to submit to her captors and is released, finding herself in V's lair. This is probably the most fucked up part of the movie. V had intercepted Evie before Creedy's men and subjected her to false imprisonment so she could learn to live without fear. Although initially angry at V, Evie realizes that he has been avenging Valerie and the other Larkhill victims and promises to return to see him before November 5th. I feel like that's Stockholm Syndrome also. To kill the otherwise unreachable High Chancellor, V convinces Creedy to kill Sutler and take his place in exchange for V's surrender. On November 5th, V has hundreds of thousands of Guy Fawkes masks distributed across the nation, leading to a rise in mass anonymous chaos and eventually riots after the secret police kill a young masked girl. V shares a dance with Evie before leading her to the shuttered London. Oh yeah, that was a crazy part too when they killed that little girl in the mask. She was wearing the mask. And they had like been showing the girl, like her and her family every once in a while throughout the movie, like watching the news and seeing this shit unfold and all that. Let's see. V shares a dance with Evie before leading her to the shuttered London Underground he restored over the previous decade. Not intending to survive the night, V bequeaths the decision to start the explosive-filled train to Evie. Although she pleads that he abandon his crusade and leave with her, he refuses. Creedy meets V and executes Settler before demanding V unmask. But in spite of being shot and badly injured, he kills Creedy and his men, stating that the idea he represents is more important than his identity. V returns to Evie, dying in her arms after admitting he loves her, and Finch finds her placing V's body aboard the train, but allows her to start it after she affirms that the people need hope. With Settler and Creedy dead, the military forces in London stand down as countless citizens dressed as V descend on Parliament and witness its destruction. Finch asks for V's true identity, to which Evie replies, "He was all of us." Yeah, it was a fire movie, 5 stars. And I just read the whole movie kind of in 10 minutes, which is kind of crazy. But it's way better than just how I read it. But that was like the wiki. What's interesting is that whenever the lockdowns were going on, you know, obviously people reference that movie like, oh, this is quite interesting similarities. You know what I'm saying? I feel weird because of the angle. So I gotta I should have yeah. So check it out. It's pretty dope. I never read the graphic novel. I wonder if it's good. 5 star. V for Vendetta. And V is also 5 in Roman numerals. So check it out. Peace. All right, my friends. We have come to some favorite segment. Sometimes it's mine. This one is particularly interesting. Wait, let me do a little intro. Badass women in history. Berta Isabel Cáceres Flores. Born March 4th, 71. Passed March 2nd, 2016. Damn, right before her birthday. 2 days right before. She was a Honduran environmental activist, indigenous leader, and co-founder and coordinator of the Council of Popular and Indigenous Organizations of Honduras. She won the Goldman Environmental Prize in 2015 for a grassroots campaign that successfully pressured the world's largest dam builder to pull out of the Agua Zarca Dam at the Rio Guadalquivir. She was assassinated in her home by armed intruders after years of threats against her life. A former soldier with the U.S. trained Special Forces units of the Honduran military asserted that Cáceres' name was on their hit list months before her assassination. As of February 2017, 3 of the 8 arrested people were linked to the U.S. trained elite military troops. Whoa. 2 who had been trained at Fort Benning. Okay, so this happened in 2016. So you know who was in charge at the time. Georgia, USA, the former School of the Americas, renamed WHINSEC. Linked to thousands of murders and human rights violations in Latin America by its graduates. In November of 2017, a team of international legal experts released a report finding willful negligence by financial institutions. For example, the Central American Bank for Economic Integration, the Netherlands Development Finance Institution, and the FinFund pursued a strategy with shareholders, executives, managers, and employees of the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, private security companies working for the DESA, public officials, and state security agencies to control, neutralize, and eliminate any opposition. 12 land defenders were killed in Honduras in 2014, according to research by Global Witness, making it the most dangerous country in the world. Relative to its size, for activists protecting forests and rivers. Berta Cáceres' murder was followed by those of 2 more activists within the same month. In July 2021, David Castillo, manager of DESA, was found guilty as the intellectual author of her murder. Cáceres was born into the Lenca people in La Esperanza, Honduras, the predominant indigenous group in southwestern Honduras. The youngest of 12, she grew up in the 1970s during a time of civil unrest and violence in Central America. Her mother, Austra Bertha Flores Lopez, was a role model of humanitarianism. She was a midwife, assisted in thousands of natural births in the Honduran countryside, and social activist who took in and cared for refugees from El Salvador. Austra Flores was elected and served as a 2-term mayor of their hometown of La Esperanza, as a congresswoman, and as governor of the Department of Intibucá. After attending local schools, Cáceres studied education at a university and graduated with a teaching qualification. She found in, I don't know what FR. means, Ismael Moreno, director of Radio Progreso, and Eric S.J., a close friend and collaborator. In 1993, as a student activist, Cáceres co-founded the Council of Popular and Indigenous Organizations of Honduras, an organization to support indigenous people's rights in Honduras. She led campaigns on a wide variety of issues, including protesting illegal logging, plantation owners, and the presence of U.S. military bases on Lenca land. She supported feminism, LGBT rights, as well as wider social and indigenous issues. In 2006, a group of indigenous Lenca people from Rio Blanco asked Cáceres to investigate the recent arrival of construction equipment in their area. Cáceres duly investigated and informed the community that a joint venture project between Chinese company Sinohydro and the World Bank's International Finance Corporation and Honduran company Desarrollos Energéticos S.A., also known as DESA, had plans to construct a series of 4 hydroelectric dams on the Gualcarque River. The developers had breached international law by failing to consult with the local people on the project. The Lenca were concerned that the dams would compromise their access to water, food, and materials for medicine, and therefore threaten their traditional way of life. Cáceres worked together with the community to mount a protest campaign. She organized legal actions and community meetings against the project and took the case to the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights. From 2013, Cáceres led COPINH and the local community in a year-long protest at the construction site to prevent the companies from accessing the land. Security officers regularly removed protesters from the site. On July 15, 2013, the Honduran military opened fire on the protesters. Bro, how come we didn't hear about this shit in 2013? You see, the news picks and chooses. Killing 1 member of COPINH, Tomas Garcia, and injuring 3 others, including his 17-year-old son, Alan. The community reported regular threats and harassment from the company employees, security guards, and the military. In May 2014, members of COPINH were attacked in 2 separate incidences that resulted in 2 members dead and 3 seriously injured. In late 2013, both Sinohydro and the International Finance Corporation withdrew from the project because of COPINH's protests. Desarrollos Energéticos continued, however, moving the construction site to another location to avoid the blockade. Other local business leaders supported the project. Officials filed criminal charges against Cáceres and 2 other indigenous leaders for usurpation, coercion, and continued damages against DESA for their roles in the protest, which was alleged to have incited others to cause damage to the company, which is probably bullshit. I mean, they might have, but whatever. In response to the charges, Amnesty International stated that if the activists were in prison, Amnesty International would consider them prisoners of conscience. Dozens of regional and international organizations called upon the Honduran government to stop criminalizing the defense of human rights and to investigate threats against human rights defenders. On February 20th, 2016, more than 100 protesters were detained by security while protesting, and threats against their organization began to increase. Now, this is where it gets icky. Cáceres singled out Hillary Clinton for her involvement in legitimizing the 2009 Honduran coup d'etat. Excuse me. Hopefully this doesn't get pulled from YouTube, but it's on Wikipedia. The return of the president, Mel Zelaya, became a secondary issue. There were going to be elections in Honduras, and here Clinton, recognized that they didn't permit Mel Zelaya's return to the presidency. There were going to be elections, and the international community, officials, the government, the grand majority accepted this, even though we were warned this was going to be very dangerous and that it would permit a barbarity, not only in Honduras, but in the rest of the continent, and we've been witnesses to this. Clinton claimed that her method of handling the situation was better for the Honduran people. Threats and human rights concerns. The Inter-American Commission on Human Rights included Bertha Cáceres on its June 28, 2009 list of people under threat during the 2009 Honduran coup d'etat. The following day, the IACH issued so-called precautionary measures in defense of her and other activists while acknowledging reports that military forces had surrounded her home. So if you don't get what this is saying, this lady might be on HC's long list of vanquished enemies to money. To her money, to their money. Damn, it's crazy. In 2013, Cáceres told Al Jazeera, which is a news outlet, the army has an assassination list of 18 wanted human rights fighters with my name at the top. I want to live. There are many things I still want to do in this world, but I have never once considered giving up fighting for our territory, for a life with dignity, because our fight is legitimate. I take lots of care, but in the end, in this country where there is total impunity, I am vulnerable. When they want to kill me, they will do it. During the campaign against the dam, Cáceres and other organizers were frequently intimidated by the military. On one occasion, they were stopped and their vehicle was searched while traveling to Rio Blanco. Cáceres claimed that during this search, a gun was planted in the vehicle. The organizers were subsequently arrested on weapons charges and detained overnight in jail. The court placed Cáceres under preventative measures, forcing her to sign in at the court every week and preventing her from leaving the country. The measures were in effect until the case was dismissed in February 2014. Court records from 2014, publicized in May of 2016, that's 2 years later that they publicized these records, the government and DESA repeatedly sought to tar Cáceres and her colleagues as violent anarchists bent on terrorizing the population through their protests, usurpation, coercion, and continued damage, and even attempting to undermine the democratic order. Obviously, that's not what the goal was. One of Berta's favorite expressions was, "They are afraid of us because we are not afraid of them." Damn. According to Gustavo Castro Soto, Cáceres was shot dead in her home by armed intruders on the night of March 2nd, 2016. Mexican environmental activist Gustavo Castro Soto was also wounded by 2 gunshots to the cheek and the hand. Gustavo had arrived in La Esperanza a day prior for a meeting with 80 others to discuss alternatives to the hydroelectric project. Berta invited him to stay at her place for the night, as her place had a better internet connection than his accommodation. He said, "I was working on a presentation when I heard a loud bang. I thought something had fallen, but when Berta screamed, 'Who's there?' I knew it was bad, that it was the end. When the hitman arrived, I covered my face. He was 3 meters away. I moved as he fired, and the bullet passed my ear. He thought he'd killed me. It's a miracle I survived." Under the so-called precautionary measures recommended by the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights, the Honduran government was required to protect Cáceres, but on the day of her death, she was not under any protection. The Honduran security minister said that she was not at the place which she had identified as her home. Bullshit. She had recently moved into a new house in La Esperanza. Cáceres is survived by her 4 children with former husband and co-leader Salvador Zuniga. Damn. She needs a movie, but of course they're not going to make it. Maybe Daily Wire will make it. Hollywood won't make it. Damn. Berta Isabel Cáceres Flores from Honduras, a hero that got murdered in 2016. I'm trying to figure out who was the president in 16. I think I know. But it wasn't. It was who I think it is, but I don't think it was them that did it. Because it was like this business. It was just business. Big ass business. Man. Alright, we have come to the end of another beautiful episode. Not sure if I'm going to do a freestyle. Maybe I'll just pull out let's see if I got a verse. Let's see. Well, I wrote a verse about clouds. Let me just spit this one random verse real quick that I wrote in the summer. I wrote this on 7/18. All right, yo. Clouds in the sky, staying still and flowing by. Super duper huge, but lighter than a fly. That's how you know it's good kush, puffing garlic cookies. Thinking about the times when I used to play hooky. Acted like a pro even though I was a rookie. Look at me now, I'm the shit, I'm the dookie. Okay, sorry about the image, I'ma go ahead and finish some. Call me Popeye cause the way I'm smoking spinach. But I ain't a sailor, but I could be a pirate. I don't want to, but if needed, I'm sure I can get violent. But for how the color's vibrant, everything's cool. If your girl hits on me in private, I'ma call her a fool. Unless you're an asshole, I'll turn that ass. Okay, all right. Let me see. Let me see if I got another one. Yeah, this kind of goes with what I was just reading about, oh girl. Man, fuck your mind control and your government agents. My mind's on swole, but yours is constantly vacant. You got squatters in your brain, whispering things like you should lie, cheat, and steal. Now you going insane. Splitting personalities, your reality's changed. It's becoming the casualty like those trapped in the game. It's a tragedy, trading your soul for the fame and get nothing in return but the feelings of shame. I used to sip and swerve, now I'm puffing the Jane, staying home when I can, only I can be blamed. You can call me X-Chaos, the self-hatred's behind me. Now I love my entity and no one can outrhyme me. Even though I got 2 podcasts, I'm trying to make the pot last. Just got paid, but the bills got paid fast. Pinching pennies, trying to turn it to $1. So now I'm sipping Henny. Man, you can fucking holler. Alright, random. Alright, man, I love y'all. See y'all on the next one.